I'm just going to say this outright. The LG G5 is not going to be anywhere near as amazing as you are hearing. You are going to see everyone, and I've seen them. I scroll through my phone and I see all these videos of everyone telling you the LG G5 is like that TV. You have to have it. Best thing since sliced bread. Hell, since breathing fresh air. But the reality is, it's a WOLED that has a couple new tricks to help it get brighter, which great, wonderful, fantastic. But that does not change the dynamic of lacking color. There is a reason why manufacturers like Sony and Hisense are pushing RGB mini LEDs even over, WOLED, because that technology is more viable to produce wider array of color while giving you deep black and extraordinary color volume that just would not be possible on even the tandem OLED, again, in the long term. Now, the other thing to consider is this. I mean, do you really want to pay stacks of cash just for a brighter WOLED, knowing the brighter it gets, the more washed the color will become? That's something that only you have to decide. I mean, it gets really irritating watching people play pretend like they don't have access to scientific data like color charts and spectral power distribution charts to show visibly and tangibly like it's not as big of an upgrade as they're making it seem. That won't stop them from putting the dramatic faces and expressions all over their thumbnails to help market it for the sake of clicks and views. But the reality is, when you get it and you actually experience it, it's not going to be Quantum.OLED level even. If it's not Quantum.OLED level, what are we talking about? Now, there are those that say you should see it first. You never know. I do know. There is scientific data, and data doesn't lie. It's an empirical fact. There are numbers to back it up. There are graphs literally right now to back up what I am saying. I mean, if you want a G5, perfect, totally okay, but let's not pretend that it's the next great thing or the best TV this year or all the stuff that I see people kind of alluding to. The reality is it's going to be a good TV and even great for some, but it's definitely not going to be king of TV this year. And I'll see you and raise you and say, whatever Samsung does and whatever Sony does, that will likely usually be the determining factor for the king of TV this year. That's just kind of how it plays. I'm sorry to say this, Panasonic isn't a player. They're on the verge of bankruptcy, for crying out loud. Let's forget them in the win and move forward with common sense. But honestly speaking, the reality of the situation is with LG and their G5, you can pretty much have a very similar experience to the G4, and tell me I'm wrong, but then also do a side-by-side comparison to show what features at the very least they both offer, and they line up fairly well. LG really is leaning heavily into the extra brightness this year, but if you took that away, what else is there to really fall back on as an innovation from LG? And the room gets kind of quiet after that, which is how I don't see how on one hand when we get to LED TVs they say brightness isn't everything, but it is for LG all of a sudden. Make it make sense in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching, the #1 brand in honesty, and until the next video, I'll see you guys later.